So my first question is, how is your work-life balance? And how important are breaks from advertising for you?
Do you ever get a break from advertising, actually?
Well, I don't shy away from hard work, but I don't work 24/7. But I do realise that, you know, no matter how talented you are or think you are, you know, that's something you can't guarantee, but you can guarantee how hard you work. And putting in the effort is an important factor, because it is a tough industry. It's a simple but tough industry.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fortunate that I have a great wife and, you know, a supportive family. But, you know, I'm not, basically between it's work and my family, I'm not really a social advertising person.
Oh.
You know, I don't need to go, you know, hang out with advertising people and do all that sort of stuff. So I work hard, and then I go and spend my personal life and all that. But I think it's important that you have a life outside of advertising.
Yeah, so we were wondering, like, how is it like a regular day for you?
Regular day is pretty regular. It's, you know, the hardest part of my day is getting my kids out of the house to school. That's definitely hard. That's most chaotic. Drop one of my daughters off, and then I'm at the office by about 8:15.
Huh.
And I leave at 6:37. No negotiation, so I can have at home with the family for dinner.
That's awesome.
So, you know, it's important, and you know, when you're younger, you don't think about that. You know, and I used to, you know, for me, working weekends was like just a norm. You know, at least working one day of the weekend. But I enjoyed it. I didn't find it tedious, or I didn't even think about making sacrifice. I thought it was the right thing to do. And when you enjoy what you're doing, it's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Is it harder to be the leader of the agency or some kind of leader of the family, or do like the family?
Well, definitely I prefer being leader of the agency, because I'm top of the totem pole. At home, I'm bottom of the totem pole. So
yeah, definitely for kids.
It's a democracy at home. It's not a democracy in the office. So, but it's it's important. I think it's as I said, you know, I'm very lucky that I've got a very supportive wife, and she understands what I do, but I also understand what she does. So there's a respect there. And as I said, I mean, your work is what you make it. You can make, you know, some people can work only a few hours and still be miserable, and some people can work a lot of hours and enjoy it. Depends it's what you put in, it's what you get out. You know, but I definitely don't think you should be one of those people that only thinks about advertising. I think that makes you a boring person. And if all you read is award annuals, and if all you talk about is advertising, you know, you're going to turn it on yourself.
You get no oxygen from it.
Yeah,
you're stuck on it.
Outside of advertising.
Next question. What's your biggest struggle as a leader of the agency, or like of the agency of one of the most important agencies?
Well, I think the struggle is because it's still it's a people business. You know, like at the end of the day, you're dealing with egos and insecurities and needs and realities. So you're trying to manage people's careers and also their personalities at the same time, and keep people motivated and inspired at the good and bad times. It's easy to be a great leader when everything's great.
Yeah.
You can't be a great leader when things are great. It's making things consistent through the ups and downs, and making people feel that the effort we put in and the struggles and is leading to something worthwhile. But I like being a leader. I mean, I feel like I find it very rewarding. I like seeing people's careers flourish, because you take some personal pride in that. Maybe we take too much pride in other people's careers, but it's a great thing. And you know, I'm sure when your bosses or when your bosses and things like, you know, you can tell it's a very a title doesn't make you a leader. You know what I mean? A leader is in your actions, and, you know, people respecting you.
I think there must be like a lot of pressure, because you have like everyone talks about your agency. So how do you handle that? Do you care about what everyone's saying? Like, of course you care about what the industry is saying, but sometimes we just prefer what our client is thinking, what people is thinking, or I don't know, what do you think of that?
Funny enough, I care less about what the people in the industry think. I appreciate the respect and goodwill that we have.
Well, definitely, but I think that's something like really cool about your agency, because it seems like so free, like so open about the ideas that you express, about what you're saying as an agency. It seems so free, like you're saying what everyone wants to hear, so that's awesome.
That's very generous of you to say that. But I think the thing is we genuinely try and do what we think is the right thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we'll always get it right, but we always try to do the right thing. And as I said, I'm not doing it for my peers. I want my clients to be happy. Because I'm also running a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not,
yeah.
at
the bottom line, it's a business. Yeah.
So you've got to be responsible with the freedoms you get. And I do remind people in my office sometimes, and also remind myself. I'm like, people look at what we do. Let's at least live up to or try and exceed expectations. But we don't do anything for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But it's a privilege to have people know your work and have an opinion on your work.
Yeah.
So maybe it puts a little more pressure on. I'm not opposed to pressure. I quite like pressure, actually.
Yeah.
As you said, you're the leader of a business. I want to know, are you still involved in the creative process? Or how much are you involved in the creative process?
I think a lot, in the sense that that's who I am and what I do. I have spectacular creatives in my agency and some creative leaders, and there's a lot of really good people there. But for my own sanity, I need to be involved, and involvement comes in many different shapes and forms. There are some accounts that I run the day-to-day of just because to keep my own sanity. And sometimes being involved is clearing the path for others and not touching things. It's different. You make the right calls, but every decision I make is based on what I think is going to help get the work to the right place. That may be at the start helping instigate it, or it may be, allowing others to flourish and spending time with the client. It's whatever it takes. But I am a creative person who happens to be a businessman out of circumstance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I take pride in being a creative businessman, because the more successful my business, the more creative opportunities we have and the more creative people we have. And creative people I don't see as just copywriters and artists and designers. Our whole agency is very creative minded. So it's good. That's what's so, I feel very spoiled to have an environment where people are all trying to do the same thing. But it's a business, I have to pay people salaries, and and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. It's not a creative jolly.
Awesome.
So at the end, we just want to do quick questions. What's your most inspiring questions? What's your most inspiring city?
What's my most inspiring city? That's a great question. Well, usually, you know what? There are cities I love, but this would sound like an easy answer, but I love going to a new city that I haven't been to, and you feel a different culture and an energy there. I think one of the last places I went to, which was just really overwhelmingly wonderful, was Istanbul. The first time I went there, which was recent, thought it was incredible. But clearly, I live in New York, which I feel like there is an energy that flows through that city that is unlike anywhere else in the world. And maybe that's because I'm a foreigner there.
Yeah.
But I feel like anything is possible there. Of course, it's not the same as Tokyo or Shanghai or, Rio or Sydney or, they're all amazing cities. And I love going to India, and I love going to, but I think living and working in New York City, I find very special. I don't know, it's just, the more things start there, I think, than anywhere else.
Do you remember the first ad you made, the first ad you put it out,
I do, actually. I'm actually going to show it in my panel. And it's dated terribly, and it's very bizarre to look at. But it reminds me, I still remember how excited I was and naive I was. And I was fortunate because I got thrown in the deep end really quickly, and my first ad wasn't a small print ad or a radio ad, it was like a multi-million-dollar television commercial.
Oh, really?
Which was, again, in hindsight, you think that's crazy. At the time, I didn't know. I thought that was normal. I was like, wow, this advertising thing is amazing. But I do remember it. That's where I suddenly feel old, because you could ask me about any ad I've done in my career, and I sort of, if I stopped to think about it, I would probably remember the stresses and nuances of it.
Yeah.
And that's the most exciting part about it, when you're making something.
Yeah.
you know, the getting there and the filler, it's almost like you're treading water.
Yeah.
But as soon as there's an idea that's out in the world, or even if it's once it's on a piece of paper, just wanting it, willing it, wanting it to come out into the world and have impact is so exciting, and it's contagious, and you never lose that itch.
Yeah, back to what's your most inspiring art piece or museum?
Jesus. I like art a lot. Different artists I like. I like Henry Moore sculpture very much. I find the thing with art is, again, it's when you really get the backstory about it, more than just the visceral reaction to a piece. Like, I like hearing about the artist, what they were thinking, the time period, the context in which they were doing it, and that's when I find it most inspiring, when things were just leaps, really big leaps forward. You know, the first to do something. You know, it's easy to, you know, of course the Picassos of the world, Rancuzis, and all these are amazing people, but an artist doesn't have to be famous to have some inspiring. I sit on the board of a museum in New York, and it's a privilege to go there. So it's, but yeah.
Okay, the next question is really important. What's your favorite drink?
Well, up until about 2 years ago, it used to be Manhattans, and now it's Negronis.
Yeah. What made you switch?
I don't know, that's a good question. I think I saw too many people drinking Manhattans, so then I switched to Negronis.
Yeah, you needed to try something different.
Okay. So thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure, and I wish you guys the best of luck. Congratulations to you guys
Awesome.
on your wins this week. It's amazing.
Thank you. Congratulations for you, man. You are inspiring the whole industry. Everyone will always look out for you.
That's very kind, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying hard, that's all I can do.